If you're retired or someone you love is, I need you to pay very close attention to what we're about to talk about today. Because right now, across the United States, scammers are stealing billions of dollars every year from older Americans. And here's the frightening part. Most victims don't lose their life savings because they were careless or because they weren't intelligent. They lose it because the scam sounded believable. The person on the other end of the phone sounded professional. The email looked official. The text message appeared to come from a government agency. And by the time they realized something was wrong, the money was already gone. Today, I'm going to walk you through some of the biggest retirement scams targeting seniors right now, explain exactly how these criminals operate, and show you the warning signs that could save you, or someone you love, from becoming their next victim. One of the biggest myths about scams is that they only fool people who don't understand technology. That couldn't be further from the truth. Many scam victims spent their entire careers as teachers, engineers, military veterans, accountants, business owners, and healthcare professionals. These are people who successfully managed households, careers, and finances for decades. The problem isn't intelligence. The problem is psychology. Professional scammers understand fear, urgency, trust, and emotion better than most people realize. They know exactly which buttons to push, especially when someone is living on a fixed retirement income and worries about protecting the money they've worked a lifetime to earn. Imagine a retired gentleman named Harold. He's 74 years old, lives comfortably on Social Security and a modest pension, and has always been careful with his finances. One Tuesday morning, his phone rings. The caller says they're from Social Security and explains that Harold's Social Security number has been linked to suspicious criminal activity. The caller sounds calm, professional, and even knows Harold's full name. Then comes the frightening part. Sir, unless we verify your identity immediately, your Social Security benefits may be suspended. Harold's heart starts racing. His monthly Social Security check pays for his mortgage, groceries, medications, and utility bills. The thought of losing that income terrifies him. Without thinking clearly, he begins answering questions and providing personal information. Within days, criminals have enough information to begin stealing from him. That story may sound dramatic, but versions of it happen every single day. And that's why the first scam every retiree needs to understand is the fake Social Security phone call. Criminals know that older Americans depend on their monthly benefits. They use that fear as a weapon. They pretend to be government employees and claim there's a problem with your Social Security number, your Medicare account, your bank account, or your retirement benefits. Sometimes they tell you your identity has been stolen. Other times they claim you've been overpaid and must return money immediately. The details change, but the goal is always the same: scare you into acting before you have time to think. Here's the first warning sign. Real government agencies generally don't call people unexpectedly demanding immediate action or threatening to suspend benefits simply because someone refuses to provide sensitive information over the phone. Scammers rely on panic. They don't want you thinking clearly. They don't want you calling a family member. They certainly don't want you hanging up and contacting the agency yourself. That's why they create a false sense of urgency from the very beginning. Now, let me tell you about another scam that's spreading faster every year, especially through text messages and email. You receive a message saying your Medicare card needs to be updated. Maybe it says there's a new Medicare benefit waiting for you. Maybe it claims you're eligible for free medical equipment or a refund. The message includes a convenient link and encourages you to act immediately before the offer expires. It looks official. It may even include familiar government logos. But the moment you click that link, you're often taken to a fake website designed to steal personal information. Picture someone named Dorothy. She receives an email saying Medicare has introduced a new benefit for seniors in 2026. The message looks authentic. The logo appears real. The colors match official government websites. The email explains that she simply needs to confirm her Medicare number and banking information to receive her benefit. Dorothy thinks she's completing a routine update. Instead, she's handing valuable personal information directly to criminals who may use it for identity theft or fraudulent medical claims. Here's something many people don't realize. Criminals no longer rely on poorly written emails filled with spelling mistakes like they did years ago. Today's scams often look remarkably professional. They copy official logos, government language, and realistic website designs. Some even use technology that allows fake phone numbers to appear identical to legitimate government offices. That's why you should never judge a message simply by how professional it looks. Now, let's move to another scam that has become incredibly common over the past few years. It begins with exciting news. You receive a phone call, text message, Facebook post, or YouTube advertisement claiming the government has approved a brand new stimulus payment, a secret senior bonus, or a special Social Security increase available only for a limited time. Sometimes the amount sounds incredibly specific, $800, $1,200, even several $1,000s. The scammers know that specific numbers sound more believable than vague promises. Imagine Frank scrolling through social media after breakfast. He sees a headline claiming, "Congress approves new $3,200 senior bonus. Apply before Friday." The article includes photos of government buildings and official-looking seals. Frank has never heard about the payment before, but everything about the page looks convincing. He clicks the link, fills out the application, enters his personal information, and even pays a small processing fee because the website promises he'll receive thousands of dollars in return. Days later, the website disappears, the phone number stops working, and Frank realizes there was never any government bonus in the first place. Here's the lesson. Whenever someone promises easy government money, secret payments, or exclusive retirement bonuses that you've never heard about through official sources, stop and verify the information before doing anything else. Scammers know people are always searching for ways to stretch their retirement income. They exploit hope just as effectively as they exploit fear. And unfortunately, the next scam we're about to discuss is even more dangerous because it often begins with something almost every retiree does every single day. It doesn't start with a phone call. It doesn't begin with an email. It starts with your bank account. And by the time most victims realize what's happening, thousands of dollars have already disappeared. Now let's continue with what has quietly become one of the fastest growing scams targeting retirees today. Unlike the scams we talked about earlier, this one doesn't pretend to be Social Security or Medicare. Instead, it pretends to be your own bank. Everything starts with a text message that looks completely normal. It says something like, "Did you authorize this $497 purchase?" Reply, yes or no. Most people immediately think someone is trying to steal their money. Naturally, they reply, no. Within minutes, the phone rings. The caller introduces themselves as a fraud specialist from the bank. They sound calm, polite, and professional. They already know your name and the last 4 digits of your account. They explain that your account has been compromised and they need to help you move your money into a safe account while they investigate. That safe account, of course, belongs to the criminals. Imagine someone named Richard. He's 71 years old and has always been careful with his savings. When he receives the fraud alert, he feels relieved that the bank noticed suspicious activity so quickly. The representative on the phone never asks for anything unreasonable at first. They simply explain the situation step by step until Richard believes he's protecting his retirement savings. By the end of the conversation, he has unknowingly approved several transfers that send tens of thousands of dollars directly to the scammers. The most painful part isn't just losing the money, it's realizing that every decision felt logical while it was happening. The warning sign here is simple. Your bank will never ask you to move your money into another account to keep it safe. If anyone ever tells you to transfer funds, purchase gift cards, withdraw cash, or send money through cryptocurrency to protect your account, stop immediately. Hang up and call your bank using the phone number printed on the back of your debit or credit card, not the number the caller gives you. Now let's talk about one of the most heartbreaking scams because it doesn't target your wallet first. It targets your heart. It's commonly known as the grandparent scam. Imagine the phone ringing late at night. You answer, and through tears you hear someone say, "Grandma, it's me. Please don't tell Mom and Dad. I've been in an accident." Before you have time to ask questions, another person comes on the line claiming to be a police officer, lawyer, or hospital employee. They explain that your grandchild urgently needs money for bail, legal fees, or emergency medical treatment. They beg you not to contact other family members because the situation is supposedly confidential. Now, imagine Margaret. She hears what sounds exactly like her grandson's voice crying on the phone. Her first instinct isn't to investigate, it's to help. Within an hour, she withdraws several $1,000s and sends it exactly as instructed. Later that evening, her daughter calls to ask how she's doing. That's when Margaret learns her grandson has been at college all day and was never in any danger. The money is gone forever. In recent years, this scam has become even more dangerous because of artificial intelligence. Criminals can now create convincing voice recordings using only a few seconds of audio collected from social media videos or online recordings. That means hearing a familiar voice is no longer proof that the caller is really your loved one. If you ever receive one of these emotional calls, pause before acting. Contact another family member using a phone number you already know. That single step can prevent an enormous financial tragedy. Now, let's move to another scam that's becoming increasingly common among retirees looking for better investment returns. After decades of saving, many seniors have accumulated retirement accounts, pensions, or investment portfolios. Criminals know this. They advertise opportunities that promise guaranteed returns with almost no risk. Sometimes it's real estate, sometimes it's gold, sometimes it's foreign currency. And more recently, many scams involve cryptocurrency or artificial intelligence investing. The advertisements often feature celebrities, financial experts, or government officials whose images have been stolen without permission to make the opportunity appear legitimate. Picture Thomas, a recently retired engineer. He sees an online advertisement claiming ordinary retirees are earning 20% every month through an AI-powered investment platform. The website looks professional. There are glowing testimonials and even fake news articles praising the company. Thomas starts with a small investment and quickly receives fake statements showing impressive profits. Encouraged by the apparent success, he invests more of his retirement savings. Then one day, he tries to withdraw his money. Suddenly, there are unexpected taxes, processing fees, verification charges, and endless excuses. Eventually, the website disappears completely, taking his retirement savings with it. Here's an important rule every retiree should remember. If an investment promises unusually high returns with little or no risk, slow down. Every legitimate investment involves some level of risk. Anyone guaranteeing extraordinary profits while insisting you act immediately deserves careful skepticism. Taking an extra day to research an opportunity can save years of financial hardship. Now, let's talk about another scam that's growing rapidly among older Americans. And this one develops over weeks or even months instead of days. Romance scams often begin through social media, online communities, or dating websites. The scammer is patient. They don't ask for money immediately. Instead, they build trust. They listen carefully, remember birthdays, ask about grandchildren, and create what feels like a genuine emotional connection. Eventually, an emergency appears. Maybe they need help paying for medical treatment. Maybe they're stranded overseas. Maybe a business deal unexpectedly fell apart. They promise to repay every dollar as soon as they can. Think about Helen. After losing her husband, she spends more time online to stay connected with people. She begins talking with someone who seems kind, respectful, and genuinely interested in her life. Months pass before money is ever mentioned. By then, Helen feels she's helping someone she loves. She sends a small amount at first, then another, and another. Before she realizes what's happening, she's emptied a significant portion of her retirement savings, helping someone who never actually existed. These scams aren't successful because people are foolish. They're successful because they're based on trust, loneliness, and human emotion. That's why it's so important to discuss major financial decisions with someone you trust before sending money to anyone you've never met in person. As we come to the end of today's video, I want you to notice something all these scams have in common. Whether it's fake Social Security calls, Medicare messages, bank fraud, grandparent emergencies, investment opportunities, or online relationships, they all rely on creating one powerful emotion: urgency. The scammer wants you to believe you must act immediately. They don't want you calling your son, your daughter, your bank, or a trusted friend. They want you isolated because isolated people make emotional decisions. Here's the habit that can protect you better than almost anything else. Whenever someone asks for money, personal information, passwords, account numbers, or immediate action, give yourself permission to stop. Take a break. End the conversation politely. Call the organization directly using a phone number you already know. Talk to a trusted family member. Sleep on the decision if necessary. Legitimate organizations will still be there tomorrow. Scammers usually won't. Retirement should be a time to enjoy the rewards of decades of hard work, not a time spent recovering from financial fraud. The money in your savings account, your Social Security benefits, your pension, and your retirement investments represent years of sacrifice, discipline, and planning. Protecting those resources is just as important as earning them in the first place. If this video helped you recognize even one warning sign, please share it with a parent, grandparent, neighbor, or friend. One conversation could prevent someone from losing the savings they spent an entire lifetime building. And if you want more easy-to-understand updates about Social Security, Medicare, retirement planning, and the latest scams targeting seniors, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thank you for watching.